Usually when I give my speeches, I try to be a bit subtle about my message or even a bit clever, but not today. I'll tell you my message first thing. I want you to be vulnerable. Let's say this together, please. Be vulnerable. But today I want to give you a reason that you may not have heard before. We often get told that we should be more vulnerable, but if you're not vulnerable, you can die quicker. And I will tell you why. Dear Toastmasters, dear friends and dear guests, we had great topics today. We had people sharing vulnerabilities. We talked about living longer, so I think this fits perfectly all together into the theme of the evening. And I'd like to share something personal with you as well, which I'm not comfortable sharing. I'm 22 years old and I've never had a girlfriend. Now, the first question people ask me is, Philip, you're 22 years old, why did you never have a girlfriend? The answer is simple, because I am an idiot. When it comes to girls, there are three situations for me. The first one is, I like her, she doesn't like me. That's what I call normal life. The second is, she likes me, but I don't like her. And that is called no demand. And the third is, I like her and she likes me, and that is called wishful thinking. But if the interest is indeed mutual and I don't realize it, that's when it's called Philip is a bit of an idiot. And my mom and me, we recently had a talk. On that talk we had the girlfriend talk. And you know when your mom sits you down for the girlfriend talk, you know you're doing something wrong. And she said to me, son, you really need a girlfriend now. She said, I want you to get out there and find yourself a girlfriend. And I said, sure, that sounds great. Where can I get one on Amazon? But all joking aside, you know, sometimes I think of all the missed chances I had, about all the embarrassing moments I had, and I think to myself, Philip, you behaved a little bit like an idiot. Raise your hand if you behaved like an idiot before. Raise your hand with me, please. And say, aye. Aye. Who never behaved like an idiot before? And who doesn't care? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But you know, sometimes it can be hard, especially when I compare myself to my peers. Everybody is successful with women, and I think to myself, well, it didn't work out for me. And I think to myself, why? Why me? Is it because I'm an idiot? Is it because I'm sort of weird? And sometimes when I lie in bed at night, I can't help but feel a bit lonely actually, and I wish someone would be at my side to help me, comfort me with those feelings. But when I look to my side, there's no one there. There's only Mr. Snuggles, my teddy bear. And I hate to admit it, and I know I shouldn't be, but sometimes I'm ashamed that I never had a girlfriend. Now, it's an entertaining speech, people feeling depressed already. I think some of you want your money back. But there's two really good reasons why I told you this. The first one is, if you're not vulnerable, you'll die quicker. Now, I know this may sound a bit crazy. I had to look it up first before I really believed it, but it's actually true. So, shame, for example. If we don't talk about our vulnerabilities, it's often linked to shame. And holding in shame is linked to higher rates of depression, suicide, strokes, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and heart attacks. So everything that can make you die, basically, you can get it if you don't share your vulnerabilities. So this whole speech for me is basically just a life insurance thing. That means I live 2 hours longer, so that's a good thing for tonight. So it means that I don't want you just to be vulnerable. I want you to be more vulnerable. Let's say this together, please. Be more vulnerable. Perfect. But there's actually a second reason why I told you this. And I think that it's often difficult for us to share our experiences and to talk about what we're ashamed of because we're afraid that we get embarrassed. Or we are afraid that we will get rejected. And I understand. The reason why I shared this story with you today is because I've always felt like when someone opened up first, it gave me permission to open up as well. And so I want to give everybody in this room tonight the permission to talk about those things that you're ashamed of and you don't want to share with others. Because I think it's very important. And I found in my life that I've only come closer with the people I've shared it with. We've come a bit closer tonight, that's great. So in that spirit, I want you all to be more vulnerable. To finish up, I recently saw a commencement address by a guy called Neil Gaiman, and I think he summed it up perfectly when he said, when you feel like you're exposing too much of yourself, you are probably doing something right. If you feel like you're exposing too much of yourself, you're probably doing something right. And so in that spirit, and in the spirit of living longer together, of staying alive, one last time, me and you, we will be more vulnerable.